Who's ready for my vacation designer fragrances? Let's do it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Elite Nurse Lifestyle, where we discuss all things fashion, most importantly, fragrances. So guys, I know, I've been MIA, and honestly, I'm not mad about it because, guys, I was feeling so burnt out. I just had all this juggling with work, and then my kids are super active with sports, and my birthday was coming up, my daughter's birthday was coming up, and I was just like in a mood where it's just like, you know what? F everything, okay? I need to live life for me as well. So I was just like, you know what? If I don't feel in the mood to do something, if something is not giving me what I needed to give, I'm not gonna do it. So I've just been focusing on my two beautiful kids and work, and I was just like, in between all of that, I needed to enjoy myself as well. So for my birthday, I went away to Mexico. Had such a beautiful time.
You promised me that you'll be on your best behavior.
I promised other people that I'd be on my worst behavior.
It was everything. I'll put some clips of our time there, guys. We had so much fun. We rented a mansion, some of my friends and I. And there was another girl her birthday was coming up as well, so she put it all together and she invited me, and we had a mansion, we had a housekeeper for like all the days we were there, we had a chef come in and cook us breakfast. It was gorgeous, guys. It was just, I feel so refreshed, and you know, now I'm back to the grind. But my daughter, she actually qualified for Junior Olympics, so she's been keeping us pretty busy. She's learning how to drive. My son is back with football practice and everything. So guys, needless to say, I am super busy, and the time away was just like well needed. So I haven't really been on YouTube watching much, catching up with most of my favorites or anything like that. I've just been taking the time to nurture myself, and I'm all about work-life balance. So if I feel like I'm not aligned, I'm just like gonna shut everything down. So that's what happened, but I'm pretty active on Instagram. So you guys can go ahead and follow me at Empress Milani. I will put a tag somewhere up there, but I'm pretty current or more active on Instagram. I at least post at least once per week there, at least. So let's get started. So guys, what I wanted to do when I was in Mexico, I wanted to give you like lookbook, you know, things of what I wore. And honestly, most of the time I was in bikinis and swimsuits, and so, you know, I don't know if that's going to be helpful to you guys, but I also thought of, you know, telling you about the fragrances that I took with me while I was in Mexico. And usually when I travel, I don't like to bring my niche fragrances because we all know how expensive those fragrances are. And so if my bags were to get missing, or, you know, anyone were to go into my bags and take these items, I don't want to have a problem. So I usually travel with my designer fragrances. I know I don't feature a lot of my designer fragrances on the channel, and that is just because most perfume or fragrance channels, it's based on designer fragrances. So I wanted to bring another aspect to a side of fragrances that most people don't even know. You know, there's this category of fragrances. the niche side. And so that's why I focus my channel mostly on that. But let's be clear, okay? Designer was all I rocked whenever, actually before I could afford my niche fragrances. So now I'm gonna switch it up on you, and you're gonna be able to see some of my favorite designer fragrances, but the ones in particular that I'm showing you today are the ones I brought with me to Mexico. And another thing, guys, I am getting really up there with my fragrances. I think I'm almost at 100, and I don't want to have a fragrance house, okay, in my home. That's not what I'm, because I want to be able to use my fragrances, really enjoy them and things like that. So my focus now is to get the baddies. When you look at my collection, it's going to be like almost all masterpiece. That's my focus. I don't want anything that I'm iffy about, that, oh, it's nice. Nah, we ain't doing that. We're getting all the baddies. So all the fragrances that to me are masterpieces, that's what I'm gonna start adding to my collection. No more, it's okay, yeah, it's good. We getting, when you look at my fragrance collection, it's gonna be like, damn, I want that, I want that, I want that. Say less, okay? So that's where I'm at, because I don't want to go over. I extended my collection to 150. The most is what I want in my fragrance collection. I don't need a ton of fragrances that I'm not going to use just to look at it. So I'm being very intentional about fragrances that I get. And so this is why I'm only getting masterpieces and baddies. Okay, let's get started. So guys, when I went to Mexico, like I said, mostly I brought my designer fragrances, and the first one we're gonna start with is Elie Saab, and this is the Le Parfum. I had a bigger bottle. Usually my designer fragrances, because I have so many fragrances, I get the smaller size unless I'm like obsessed with it. This actually is my second bottle. I had a bigger bottle when this first came out. I got the bigger bottle, and when I tell you the compliments that I get from men with this fragrance, it is ridiculous. The first time I bought it, and I went to a party my friend invited me to, and literally all, like, there were a few guys there that I knew, and they literally were pulling on me to be like, oh my God, you smell so good. What is that you have on? Elie Saab, Le Parfum. I also have the other one. I think it's called Royal or something like that. It's not as a favorite of mine as much as this one. But this, guys, it's like orange blossom, and it's spicy. It's my favorite category of fragrances, which is oriental fragrances. I've said this before. But guys, it's spicy, warm, it's orange blossom. Notes in this fragrance, like I mentioned before, it starts out with that orange blossom, and then you get, there's jasmine, there's white honey, patchouli, and I believe there's also cedar in the base. So it's like the epitome of what an oriental fragrance is. It's spicy, sweet. It's a little bit woodsy in the base. It's gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance, guys. I get tons of compliments with this one, and it's for designer. It lasts anywhere up to 6 hours on my skin. Okay, so the second fragrance is Flora Botanica, and it's from Balenciaga. This is one of my all-time favorite fragrances in the designer category. This is a green aromatic fragrance, and I am not usually a fan of green fragrances. That's like the least on the tiers of, the categories of fragrances that they are. But this is absolutely stunning. I would say this is one of the masterpieces in the designer world, in the category of green. And this starts out really aromatic with a mint note, and then it has a rose and carnation. There's also a cannabis note in this fragrance. And another fragrance that I get quite a bit of compliments with whenever I wear it, There's also vetiver and amber in the base. So when I tell you long lasting, this fragrance will last anywhere from 10 to 12 hours on your skin. No exaggeration. It performs like a niche fragrance. It is absolutely stunning. You have to get your nose on this fragrance if you don't have it. And I think, you know, you definitely will like this fragrance because it's just so, it almost puts me in like a happy mood. If I mentioned, but this is perfect to wear in the daytime if you're going to be out and about. It's hot and it's just a perfect fragrance to have, you know, spritz on you. My other fragrance that I took with me was Dolce Gabbana, The One. And this one I used mostly whenever we're going out at night because it's a little thicker, a little heavier, a little more dense. This fragrance, it's floral, it's woodsy, it has jasmine, Italian mandarin, there's green apple, as well with some neroli. There's also a coconut note, as well as orange blossom and vanilla, cedar, cashmere wood in the base. Okay, this, guys, this is another must-have from the designer world. Like, honestly, if you want a fragrance for a good date night, you're going to a really special dressy event, this is sexy, it is alluring, it is a little sweet, but not overpowering or overbearing, cloying, none of that. It's just a well-balanced fragrance with the sweet nose and then gives you a little bit of woodsy. This also performs really well. It will give you anywhere from 6 to 8 hours on your skin. Guys, you must check this out. For me, mostly I get the orange blossom, I get the jasmine, I get that coconut and vanilla. So it has that sweetness, but it's also balanced really well with the woodsy notes in the base as well. Okay, so check this out. Dolce & Gabbana, The Only One. Perfect for date night and going out. So my next fragrance was Dior, and this also was a fragrance that I used for the night because this is a heavy hitter, guys. Like, this fragrance, this like, it's one of those fragrances, it just does something to me. Like, I get this visceral reaction whenever I use this fragrance, and men seem to go crazy about this fragrance as well. I don't know what it is, but the name suits it perfectly. It's Dior Addict. And so this, guys, it is a oriental fragrance, and it's got orange blossom, it's got juicy blackberry, it also has orange, I said orange blossom, it also has mandarin leaf, as well as sandalwood, sweet vanilla, tonka bean, you name it, all your favorite notes are in this fragrance. And it's so addictive, guys. But this is that this is that when you want to knock them cold out, you know, just like drooling all over you, this is one of those that you must have in your, guys, like I'm telling you, I don't have a huge designer collection anymore. I only get the best of the best. Okay, so when I say that you must have these, it's because it's the best of the best. That's all I have when it comes to designer. I'm not getting you know, little fragrances that is like, oh yeah, it was just released, it's nice. No. My designer fragrances in particular, I have always been very selective about those because I've now moved on to the niche, and so I'm becoming that way as well with my niche fragrances. But this is a must-have. Dior Addict, it's one of those fragrances, it performs as well as a niche fragrance. It is just a beautiful fragrance, but it is a little heavy. So fall and the cooler months for me is definitely more appropriate for this fragrance. But like I said, I want some heavy hitters with me when I went away, and in the nights it was a little bit cooler. So gorgeous fragrance, a must. Dior. Okay guys, so my next fragrance is a Tom Ford, and this, I love when they have the purse version, okay? Because like I mentioned before, when I travel, I don't like to bring my big fragrances. As a matter of fact, you know, when I bring this size of fragrance, I typically tend to wrap it up in my clothing. And what happened with this one was that I had it wrapped up in my clothing, and it fell because I forgot that there was something in my clothes, and it fell on the ground. Thank goodness it didn't break the bottle, but it definitely had a chip. Like there was a chip on it right there. So, you know, when they have the purse size fragrances, I'm always quick to get those, because when I travel, like I said, I just need that enough to last me on my trip, right? So this is Rose Prick from none other than Tom Ford, and this is one of everyone's favorite. Guys, I know Tom Ford is popular, but he is a designer fragrance. You know, when it comes to fragrances, his category would be in the designer fragrance as well. I know a lot of his fragrances perform at a niche level, but it's still a designer fragrance, okay? So Rose Prick is one of my faves from the house of Tom Ford. And this has Rose de Mai, Turkish and Bulgarian rose. It also has turmeric extract, Indonesian patchouli, Szechuan pepper, as well as roasted tonka and Toulouse balsam. Okay, so, but this is one of the favorites from the house, because like I've mentioned before, when it comes to Tom Ford's, I prefer the ones that are in this kind of bottle. I do not care for most of the other ones that are in that other style apothecary bottle. They smell a little bit too mature, you know what I mean? And so I don't care for a lot of those, but when it comes to the bottles like that, my kind of thing. Okay, so this I wore, you know, sometimes I wore it in the daytime depending on where we were going. I also, you know, wore this once to dinner that we had. This is pretty long lasting on my skin, and it's just a beautiful fragrance, guys. So this is another one that would be perfect for your vacation. Well, guys, Tom Ford's Solo Blanc. This needs no introduction. This is one of the faves from the house of Tom Ford. It's in the private blend collection, and this fragrance is literally amber coconut. It smells like a tropical vacation. It has some beachy floral notes as well. So this is just, when you think of fragrances for a vacation, this should automatically come to the top of your mind, because it just screams vacation me please, is how I see it. And like I said, I wore this. We actually went on a like a booze cruise. I was living my best life, girl. And I wore this that day, and it was just perfect for the occasion. You know, what else can I say? It's just a vibe, you know. Tom Ford Solo Blanc, must have. Okay guys, last but definitely not least, this one I've had for about 2 or 3 months now, and it is just absolutely stunning, okay? It screams vacation in a bottle. It is it's praline, it's gourmand, it is warm, sweet, salted caramel, it's pistachio, it's vanilla, it's just delicious, okay? It is Sol Sharosa 62, and apparently in Brazil, Sharosa means to smell incredibly delicious, and everyone notices and everyone wants to be Sharosa. It says here, it's a way of life and a way of loving life, celebrating summer and all the sounds and sensations of Brazil. Sol Sharosa 62 is brimming with joy as it touches all the senses. And guys, it gives what it says. It is so true. The only thing is that it's definitely not long lasting. I get about 4 hours on my skin. My skin can't eat fragrances, so I don't know, but for me it's about a good 4 hours or so. And you definitely have to layer with this. You if you have a good vanilla based lotion, you can definitely layer it with this and it will last you a whole lot longer. But this is absolutely gorgeous. It is summer in a bottle and absolutely stunning, guys. Get your hands on this. This one is a keeper for sure. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And like I said, follow me on Instagram at Empress Milani. I am more active there. And I hope that I will be able to get you more videos if my kids don't keep me running all over the place. And stay tuned. Thanks for watching.